2. Let's start this afternoon by getting you caught up with your 4 to 5 roundup. The House will vote today on the HEROES Act. That is the latest coronavirus stimulus bill. It would provide $3 trillion in relief spending if it becomes law. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi unveiled the bill this week. It includes help for state and local governments, hazard pay for frontline healthcare workers. It forgives student debt and helps Medicaid and Medicare. Now, unlike previous coronavirus bills, this one has little Republican support. Tanglewood Pool in Clemens will not open just yet. Today, the park says the pool will stay closed until further notice. Tanglewood follows other Triad pools that are delaying opening day. Wet and Wild, Emerald Point, and Greensboro is pushing back their first day, as are Greensboro City pools. High Point City Lake Pool will not open at all this year. City leaders say they'll use the time for renovations. And some religious leaders are suing Governor Roy Cooper. They say churches should be able to have services. Pastor Ronnie Beatty says banning indoor gatherings of more than 10 people violates First Amendment rights. Under Phase 1 of reopening North Carolina, churches are allowed to have outdoor services. Many churches have turned to streaming or parking lot worship during the pandemic. And who doesn't love a random act of kindness? Duck Donuts is making it easy to pay it forward. Now through May 20th, you can buy donuts for people on the front lines, and they'll deliver the sweet treats for you. It's part of their Sprinkle Happiness campaign. They hope to donate 25,000 donuts, and you don't have to go to the store to buy those donuts. You have the option to purchase on their app.
The CDC is sharing a list of simple guidelines for reopening the economy. Now, documents cover workplaces, public transit, daycare, schools, camps, and also restaurants and bars as well. Now, the documents ask a series of questions, such as, can a business follow local orders and protect high-risk groups? It suggests flexible time off or leave policies for companies. And they also push for lots of hand washing and, of course, sanitizing all surfaces there. The CDC says the documents to provide a little more clear idea on ways to reopen the economy that maybe everybody can understand.
In the meantime, Governor Roy Cooper says our state is doing well in Phase 1 and we could hopefully move into Phase 2 by next Friday. He says that's not a definite as of yet, but let's take a look at what would open if we move into Phase 2. The stay-at-home order would be lifted, but people in high-risk groups are still encouraged to stay home. Restaurants, bars, gyms, and other businesses are allowed to reopen, but at a reduced capacity. Churches can hold services inside, but with fewer people than normal, and more people can gather in groups than before. Playgrounds, they can reopen, but nursing homes and long-term care facilities, the restrictions there will continue.
The decision hasn't been made yet whether it will be on May 22nd, but we're hoping that this will be a statewide move into Phase 2 if our indicators show that we can.
So again, not a sure thing that we'll go into Phase 2 next week, but you heard from the governor. He seems hopeful here. He says the best way we can slow the spread of the virus is wash our hands, wear face masks, and wait 6 feet apart from others.
So the FDA is investigating a rapid test that's manufactured by Abbott Labs. This investigation comes after recent data that shows that sometimes the test can give inaccurate results. The New York University data shows that the test can miss up to half of coronavirus positive results. The research, by the way, is based on only 100 participants. Now, the FDA says if someone does use a rapid test and results come back negative, they might want to get a second test. The test is available on the market. It gives results in about 15 minutes. The FDA says even though there's an investigation, that test will remain on the market.
And Wake Forest Baptist Health's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Christopher Ohl, he also expressed some concerns over rapid tests, saying not all tests are created equal. Take a listen to what he had to say yesterday.
Some tests of these nose tests are more sensitive than others. And a report in the Washington Post this morning highlights that some of the extremely rapid tests that everyone's been touting and thinking is the fix-all for everything actually are much less sensitive.
Well, Surrey County will test people who live there for free again. This will happen on Monday. Now, the county tested hundreds of people this week for COVID-19. You can get a test starting at 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. They are available on first come, first served basis. It is free for anyone who is underinsured or uninsured, but free tests, by the way, are limited. Those test locations are Northern Regional Hospital in Mount Airy, Hugh Chatham Memorial Hospital in Elkin, and Hugh Chatham Express Care in Dobson.
And a reminder that Harris Teeter is offering free coronavirus tests in Guilford County over the next 2 weeks on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. You can get a free test from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. The drive-through location is in High Point, the parking deck on West Commerce Avenue. Now, you do have to have an appointment before you can go, so we posted those details for you on our website.
We all know that health officials have been pushing masks since coronavirus pandemic, since it started from the very beginning. Now, at first, it was just for anyone with the virus or if you were showing symptoms. Now, the CDC has recommended that everybody wear masks outside the home. It's time for us to connect the dots to see if wearing masks actually helps flatten the curve.
We've all been doing our part to try and beat the coronavirus with things like social distancing and washing your hands. But beating COVID-19 can still seem pretty daunting even with all of these precautions. Now, a new study says we can make significant progress if we just do one thing all the time. Let's connect the dots.
Everyone should wear a mask, surgical or homemade, like they do in other countries. This is according to a new paper being published by a team of scientists. The study says if 80% of a closed population were to wear a mask, COVID-19 infection rates fall to about 1/12 compared to if no one wore masks. This was all calculated using a computer forecasting model. It takes programming used by epidemiologists to track outbreaks and blends it with other models that are used in artificial intelligence. Ultimately, it shows the possibility of transmission in simulated populations that wear masks versus those that don't. Some health experts praise this model, saying it's thorough, even if it can't be taken conclusively right now. Still, wearing masks in crowded areas like grocery stores is something they recommend everyone do while the pandemic continues. Connecting the dots, I'm Gio Insignares.
Well, hey guys, hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful Friday. You know, if I could tailor up a day just for me, I probably would pick this weather. We're in the upper 70s, lows 80s right now. The humidity is not bad, and it is partly cloudy with a bit of a gentle breeze. Hard to complain about that. Temperatures in your local areas right now look just like this. Upper 70s to low 80s pretty much everywhere, from 82 to 78 from town to town. And like I mentioned, the humidity, it's there, but it's not really too bad. Good day to maybe cut the grass or something like that, right? 58 is your current dew point temperature. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to cool from the 80s now to 60s overnight tonight. So a nice, comfortable evening to sit outside and enjoy the outdoors if you like. The weekend is very summer-like. 86 tomorrow, 85 for Sunday. Both days should work out to be mainly dry with only very low chances for afternoon storms. Enjoy it while it lasts, because next week we're going into an unsettled weather pattern that means frequent chances for rain.
Well, the Gate City Rotary Club is going to partner with Out of the Garden Project to feed community members. So tomorrow they're giving away hundreds of meals. That meal handout service starts at 2:00 p.m. There will be a drive-through market at the church on 68 in Greensboro. Meals will be handed out on a first-come, first-served basis.
You know, the pandemic, it's hard on everybody, but I want you to think about those that are in retirement communities. Some of these folks have not seen their families in weeks and weeks, but one retirement community said, we're going to do something about this. A drive-by parade. Take a look.
So Robin, we see a lot of these, but it's always really cool when people pull together for our aging, citizens who deserve it right now. It's a nerve-wracking time for them. Explain what happened today and what was the reaction.
We had a great turnout today at Westchester Manor. Of course, it's been 8+ weeks since our residents have seen their family members, and they were so excited to see them in their cars and posters and balloons. And even though we all had masks on, there were a lot of smiles, and I can assure you underneath that there were a lot of tears.
What do you think the residents get out of that type of thing? Because I know that older folks, they light up when youth or kids are around.
I think the music and the dance really brings joy to them. We have groups that come into the facilities to do that when we're able to do that, so I think they really enjoy that. at the kickoff.
Isn't it? I think it's funny and kind of ironic that out of all of this quarantine, this type situation, it basically takes you back down to where simple things matter by just somebody coming to visit.
It does, and they missed their family so much, and the children that were in the parade, they were, screaming out their, hello grandma, hello grandpa, and the smiles, and it was just amazing.
Robin, thanks so much. That is just what we need to a heartwarming story today. I appreciate your time. Good luck out there.
It was really cool to see what they did. And Maddie, some of the video, there was a lot of it. We couldn't use all of it, but the video was really compelling here, and it was so sweet to see a lot of those older folks. They live for those visits by the families, and so this is as close as they can get for now.
Yeah, Eric, that story is about to tear me up here. I think that is so special and such a genius way for that facility to really offer the connection, because not only is it important for family members to get to see their loved ones who are staying in those facilities, but just the connection that the residents have to family members on the outside. They haven't been able to see them for, what, 8 weeks now? So this is huge.
8 weeks, yeah. And you know what? My advice to everybody right now is just call anyone you know that's elderly and just chat with them for a little bit. They need some connection.
I love that. I hope to see more of those in the future. Before we head to break, we want to take a moment to honor former North Carolina Representative and Winston-Salem Board of Alderman Larry Womble. Womble died at the age of 78. He served 3 terms on the Board of Aldermen from 1981 to 1993. He was elected to North Carolina's General Assembly's 71st District in 1995. That's where he served until 2012.
Davie County Schools have announced new graduation plans for seniors this year. This is pretty cool. The school is hosting a drive-in graduation ceremony with diploma pickup. That will happen June the 13th. This ceremony will allow 1 car per graduate. The graduates and their families will enter a car line to pick up their diploma.
And it is time to honor the seniors this year because their graduations have been so greatly affected by the pandemic. We do our senior shout outs here every single day. Let's take a look at the awesome graduates we're featuring this Friday. Kristen Summers is a senior at Eastern Guilford High School. His family says they couldn't be more proud of him. He excels at anything he works toward and will be attending North Carolina A&T in the fall. Kendall Hirschman is a senior at Rockingham County High School. She's a member of the basketball team, the varsity team there, the ROTC, Beta Club, National Honor Society, and Student Council. She plans to go to school in Texas and pursue a degree in speech pathology. And James Flint is a senior at Moorhead High School. He's part of the Rock-A-Top program and will continue the program at Rockingham Community College to earn his associate's degree. Congratulations to all of them. If you want to share a senior shout out with us, find this submission form on our website. Send your photos and just make sure they're not professional photos there. Also include your senior's name, their school, and a personal message to go with your shout out. More of the 4 to 5 on the other side of this break.
So Forsyth County health officials say they've seen an uptick in the coronavirus cases among Hispanics, and now a Novant health clinic is reaching out to that community. Nora Tonsel works at the Walltown Respiratory Assessment Clinic. It primarily serves Hispanic patients. She says it's important to be able to explain care in Spanish when needed.
A lot of our Hispanic community is a bit shy, and they're not willing to ask for help sometimes. So I'm there just as a friendly face, just to welcome them and offer reassurance that everything is going to be okay.
She says often those patients need help getting things like diapers or food, and she also helps connect them to get those resources.
Well, more than 36 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits since mid-March. Experts are now saying the job losses are hitting women particularly hard, especially women of color. Anna Warner spoke with some women who have lost their jobs and are trying to figure out what to do.
Mom Megan Hiles led a life in Missouri filled with family, pets, and her work as a massage therapist until she was furloughed March 14th.
I worked, my son went to school, and all that's changed since the virus.
She says the spa she works for reopens June 1st, but she and her 11-year-old son both have asthma. Plus, her child care provider, her stepmom, has COPD.
If something were to happen and my stepmom is in, I go and I work on somebody, come to pick him up and come over there and give something to her. If she died, I would feel terrible.
The pandemic cost 15.5% of women their jobs in April, compared with 13% of men. The reason, say experts, many women work in areas hit hard by the crisis, in leisure and hospitality, education and health services, and retail.
These are the industries, the types of jobs that are hugely dominated by women.
The impact is greatest for women of color. A National Women's Law Center analysis finds roughly 1 in 6 black women and 1 in 5 Latino women are now unemployed. In New Jersey, Simone Bailey now spends her time making face masks. This mother of 2 boys lost both her hotel restaurant jobs. Bailey says her state unemployment check is just under $300 per week, and the extra federal money only came for 3 weeks.
I still don't see how I'm supposed to live. And everybody else that I worked with, all the other women that I was working with, it's the same thing.
One rather stunning statistic from the Law Center's report, they say between the end of the Great Recession in June 2009 and February of this year, women had gained some 11.1 million jobs. In April, they say, the entirety of those gains was wiped out. Anna Werner, CBS News, Berkeley, California.
So listen to this. India is actually requiring people to download an app. It will trace the coronavirus. It uses Bluetooth and GPS. It'll alert the users who might have come in contact with people who tested positive. Pretty interesting here. But more than 100 million smartphone users have downloaded the app since April. The government made the app mandatory for people who work in offices, people who travel, and people who live in high-risk areas. There's even a fine and jail terms for people who refuse to install the app in one area. But there are now concerns over how much data this app collects. An ethical hacker claims that he gained access to the information and warned the prime minister of the app's vulnerability.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5, and this just into our information center. If you're watching our show using an over-the-air antenna, I want you to rescan your channels right now. Our new signal is now available, and you can get that signal by simply rescanning your television. It should only take a few moments. Well, I've had a lot of time on my hands with all of this staying at home, right? And last night I decided I'd have some fun and beat my boredom by seeing how high my cat would jump over various objects for a treat, and boy, was I surprised.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up.
So there you go. Stewie can jump over a suitcase, 3 stacks of toilet paper, but when you add those cardboard boxes, it's just a little too high for him. So Eric Chilton, I had seen this a lot on social media, and I had to do it, and I'm really impressed. When he cleared the suitcase and the toilet paper, it took me a moment to realize he's got hops.
Yes, I couldn't believe how high he would jump. But let's be honest, there must have been a treat at the end of the rainbow, because I know that's why he did it.
Oh, there was absolutely. Each time he made it over, he got a treat. You know, what is it, day 57 that I've been at home now, and this is what we've resorted to.
That's what happens, yes.
Not to take anything away from my cat Stewie, who's clearly the athlete that our family needs, because, I mean, it's like up to here. I know Tim Buckley has 2 cats, Boot, Scoot, and Figaro. Are they up for the challenge?
Yeah, I might have to try this. So one thing I like to do is use the laser pointer. I put it up on the wall, and he just goes up as high as you can imagine. So Stewie and Figaro, when we can distance or undistance again. Let's have a race and see who wins. Hey, I do want to quickly talk about the tropics. The system down here near Miami, it's starting to swirl a little bit. Still not organized, but over the course of this weekend, it's possible that it becomes Arthur, and it would be coming close to the Carolina coast. So beaches by Monday, they might be able to get some wind or even some rain from what could become Arthur. At the very least, there will be rip currents and higher surf. No impacts here. We don't worry about this because it's out at the coast, not here in the Piedmont. Our weather very quiet and quite nice this weekend. Just know it will be warm. 86 for tomorrow, 85 for your Sunday, and keeping that warm trend around for Monday. That's when the big change arrives. Storms likely Monday night, and after that we get much cooler with extra clouds and frequent rain next week. We're back after this.
Yeah, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Eden Drive-In, baby. We are live with a drone over a drive-in in a tiny town. Stay tuned.
Good Friday afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton and meteorologist Tim Buckley this afternoon. Gang's all here. That was our little roll call for everybody. We hope you're having a fantastic day and we hope you're connecting with us on social media as well. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And you can use our hashtag 4 to 5s to stay connected. Let's get you caught up this afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup. The Tyson meat plant in Wilkesboro is now running normally. Earlier this week, Tyson limited operations so they could deep clean the plant. Several workers there tested positive for COVID-19. The company says they tested workers for the virus and now employees are screened when they arrive. They're also wearing face coverings and the company is offering more benefits like increased short-term disability with 90% paid to encourage people to stay home when they're sick. Wake Forest University is planning to hold their traditional graduation service this fall on October 31st, but they'll still honor graduates virtually this Monday. Today, the president also announced that undergrad students will get refunds for fees paid for on-campus services like parking and health. They're making appointments for students to come move their belongings off campus as well. The president says both summer sessions will happen remotely and they'll release a plan for the fall semester next month. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is extending the stay-at-home restrictions in all but 5 upstate regions until June 13th. That means New York City and the hardest hit areas of the state will continue to be under tight restrictions for at least another month. Areas will have to meet specific criteria before reopening. And almost immediately after the Wisconsin Supreme Court struck down the state's stay-at-home order, bars in the state opened their doors and patrons did not hold back. A video showing a packed bar in one city went viral online. It showed people packed together dancing and hitting the bar top. More than 60,000 people watched the video on Twitter before that tweet was deleted.
This would be so much fun to do. The Eden Drive-In is open tonight. How about that? The theater opens at 6 p.m. You are looking at a live picture from our Redbird 2 drone. The drive-in is opening 2 months later than usual. The family that owns the drive-in says they received permission from the governor's office to reopen earlier this month. The playground, the bathrooms, by the way, will stay closed, but the drive-in usually holds about 300 cars. But we'll only host about 200 tonight. That's to practice social distancing, of course. This weekend's feature films, in case you're interested, Trolls World Tour and Onward.
Well, speaking of drive-ins, people went to a drive-in movie theater last night to watch a country legend perform live. Some healthcare workers went to the drive-in theater just outside of Nashville and found Keith Urban putting on a special performance for Vanderbilt University Medical Center's frontline workers. Cars socially distanced at the Stardust Drive-In to hear and see him live in concert. The movie screen showed camera views of Urban and his band and even some images of people watching from their cars. It was just his way of saying thank you to healthcare workers who risk getting the virus every day. Eric, this is a really cool story. Can you imagine?
No. In fact, I thought about this. I was like, this is what musicians need to be doing now. Drive-ins are the perfect spot for that. Everybody can stay isolated in their car but still listen to it. I noticed a lot of the cars were backwards, so they could open the hatch up, or if it's like a minivan or a truck and people were there, well, that'd be a great venue for concerts all across the country.
That's really smart because people can stay in their cars, they can socially distance, and just like the Eden drive-thru is doing, they can cut down on the number of people coming in and also close down that areas where social distancing is hard, like the playgrounds and the patios.
Absolutely. It would be perfect. All right, we got something else to talk about, too. Let's be honest. Who doesn't love Scooby-Doo? I mean, everybody loves Scooby-Doo, right? Since the pandemic has stopped us from going to the theaters, in this case, the movies are coming to you. You can see the new Scoob movie online tonight at 7 p.m. All you have to do is go to watchscoob.com. You'll get an exclusive pre-show event there. The movie itself, you have to buy that through whatever service you use, but I've seen it as low as $12.50. In a lot of cases, it's $20 to $25, but that's still cheaper than if you went to the theaters, right? This movie shows how Shaggy and Scooby became friends. Again, that cool watch party is at 7 p.m. at watchscoob.com.
All right, a pretty beautiful day across the area. Hopefully you're enjoying this. We don't get too many days like this throughout the year. Upper 70s, low 80s, low humidity. Enjoy. There are some puffy clouds in the sky, but none of them are going to bring us any harm. It's all dry as we go into this evening. Very comfortable as well. Live look at Burlington and Greensboro sitting at 82 and 78 degrees respectively. There are your local temperatures, even the mountains sitting in the 70s. Boone at 73 right now, so everybody's warm. Overnight we will be cooling, but not much. So only into the low 60s. That's where we're waking up tomorrow. So honestly, it's going to be a warm weekend, morning to night to even afternoons. And there won't be many chances for rain. Here's Futurecast for tomorrow. Generally, going to see a lot of sunshine. There's a super low chance of a pop-up shower, but that would be mainly for the mountains. I don't expect many of us to get in on that. So you can enjoy that weekend. Saturday and Sunday both looking to be about the same. A lot of warmth. So stay hydrated, right? But overall, I think it's pretty comfortable for the most part. Mid-80s are your highs both of those days. Meanwhile, we will be watching the Carolina coast because a tropical system could be coming a little bit closer there by Sunday and Monday, bringing them some rip currents. It might be called Arthur at that point. We'll keep an eye on that for you. No impacts here in the Piedmont. What we will see, though, are bigger chances for rain. That starts on Monday, and it lingers much of next week. It's an unsettled weather pattern, folks. That means more clouds, more rain, and cooler temperatures.
Well, many of us knew what we wanted to be when we grew up. Some of us did not. One 5-year-old knows exactly what she wants to be, and she took advantage of an opportunity when she saw one. CBS News' Meg Oliver introduces us to New Jersey's youngest substitute.
You know what it is?
Blakely Servos is a bright-eyed 5-year-old who loves to play school.
It's a triangle.
The little girl has been watching her mom, a kindergarten teacher, record online videos for her students for months.
You're right. It's a circle. It looks like an ice
One day
cream
when
cone.
Mom stepped away,
Ice cream is my favorite.
a confident Blakely stepped in.
It's a cube.
Like mother, like daughter.
1, 2 circles on it.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher.
Why?
Because they make people smart.
A smart little girl with big dreams. Meg Oliver, CBS News,
Can you let this virus go away for me?
Montclair, New Jersey.
I'm in love with her. Chilton, I want that child.
Seriously. You know that I love to hear that little tiny voice just saying what she wants to be. I love that. That's you know how I am. I'm ridiculous about kids. So there you go.
I love that she did exactly what her mom was doing. They pick up on more than we know.
They're always watching. My mom used to have a saying, Maddie. She said, "Little rabbits have big ears," and that's true.
I like that saying. All right, well, if you needed a reminder, it's Friday. That means we need to share some good news. So I ask you on Facebook, hey, what made you smile this week? Bonita Molas said, my Carolina Tar Heel fabric is coming in the mail today. Now I can wear a mask that I won't mind wearing. Go Heels. Ronnie Stewart said, I celebrated my mom's birthday yesterday and getting to see my family for her birthday. Sharon Dial said the sun and the breeze and all the family members being well. Yes, it's the little things. Margaret Swicegood said making her smile this week was FaceTiming with her grandchildren. I have to say, FaceTiming, video conferencing, Zoom, Skype, Eric, they always make me smile because it means I'm getting to see family members who I don't usually get to see, especially right now.
That's so true. And, you know, today, my good news was that my 10-year-old son, Tyler, he's been building a fort, and the kids in the neighborhood, they all stay out there for like 4 or 5 hours, but it's back in the woods. And today, he gave me a tour, which you will see in my 2 cents coming up later.
Well, that's adorable. What's up with all these cute kid stories we're running today? Y'all are too much for me, but it is making me smile this Friday afternoon. And let's face it, we all need some good news right now. By the way, if you love good news, you need to stick around right here on WFMY News 2 at 5:30. Eric, we're doing 30 minutes of good news. So don't miss that. It's always a great way to end the week. Yeah, round of applause. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Ed Matthews. It's time for another edition of Science Geeks, where we do really fun science projects. And I've got a very simple but very important experiment for you to do today, and it has to do with water. We deal with that quite a bit in weather and weather forecasting. And I'm going to ask you the question, is there water in the air here in the weather garden? Well, it's a dry day. There's no rain, there's no clouds in the sky, bright and sunny, but is there water? Some folks will answer yes, other folks will answer no. Well, we're going to see. Let's talk about our experiment this morning and what we have. First of all you need is a glass of ice water and a piece of construction paper. I chose red, but you can use any color. And I've got a couple of glass coasters over here. They're not part of the experiment, but I'm going to talk about those in detail a little bit later. Now, as we zoom into the side of the glass, we see that water has accumulated on the side of the glass. And look at this big puddle of water here on the construction paper. It's very, very wet. Where did that water come from? Did it come from inside the glass? The answer is no. It came from the air around. When the air in the weather garden touches the glass, it cools because the glass is very cold and it condenses. Yeah, that's the concept that we're talking about today, the condensing of water vapor into just plain old water. Water vapor in the form of a gas. Condensing and water droplets form, they run down the side of the glass and they accumulate on the paper. Well, how often have you come in from playing outside and you fix you a glass of ice water or some cold beverage and you put it on mom's favorite piece of furniture and you come back a little bit later and there's a ring of water on the furniture? Oh, I've got an answer for that. The invention of the glass coaster that was invented way back in the late 1800s. All you simply do is just put the glass on the coaster and that protects mom's furniture. I want you to try this very simple experiment. Do it on a very warm and muggy day. Muggy, that means a lot of water vapor in the air. You're gonna get a lot of water on your construction paper. Have fun with it.
All right, a good day like today, good one to test out that experiment. If you have a glass of water outside, there's going to be a lot of water that forms on the outside of it because we're getting a little bit warmer, a little muggy as well. Temperature right now, 78 degrees. The dew point is 58, so we're getting a little stickier in the air. It's not bad, but it is starting to feel a little bit more like May is supposed to feel like. Temperatures right now in your hometowns generally in the low 80s to upper 70s. Just depends on where you are, but there's a nice breeze to go along with this warmth, so it's really a nice day. Going in from clouds to sunshine back and forth. Over the next few hours, we will stay warm, still in the upper 70s by 7 and 8 o'clock, cooling off after that, going all the way down into the low 60s for tomorrow morning. And it will feel like a summer weekend for us. There aren't really any good chances for showers or storms, so both days generally dry. You might be wanting some rain because the grass is starting to get a little bit drier around the triad. We won't really get that this weekend. 86 tomorrow, 85 for Sunday. All in all, it is a summertime forecast for Saturday and for Sunday. But looking ahead to next week, big changes. I mean, we're going to cool off in a big way, and we're also going to have good chances for rain each and every day. For Monday, that's going to be an afternoon and evening thunderstorm chances. We have some geese doing their thing back in my nature world here. Next week, though, highs in the low 70s and upper 60s. That's it. That's the best that we can do because of the extra clouds and those better chances for showers. I'm going to go honk with the geese. I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock, President Donald Trump comments on Governor Roy Cooper's plans to reopen our state, saying that he's playing politics. A closer look at the remarks as the president was interviewed about the Republican National Convention that is coming to Charlotte in August. That's next at 5.
Only in a pandemic can you walk down the street and see a street workout session going on. But that's exactly what happened with one Greensboro personal trainer. She's doing it every day, and it's growing. Take a look.
Laura, this is really cool. We're seeing people just being as creative as possible to get workouts in, but how did all this come about?
So I ended up walking out of my front door and seeing a group of neighbors hanging out, and they said, hey, you're a trainer. We need something. We're going crazy, cooped up in our houses. Would you be willing? And I was like, absolutely. And so I didn't know if anybody would really show up, but lo and behold, the following day they came out with yoga mats. They came out with weights, and I brought equipment, and we stretched it out down the street and started working, and it has grown and grown.
So let's talk about what type of workouts you're doing, because did I see a bag of dog food? Is that what I saw?
You saw a bag of dog food. So one of the things we use in our gym is a sandbag or a heavy ball or a heavy weight just to have an odd object. And the only odd object I had that was heavy enough for what I wanted to do with my group was a brand new bag of dog food that was 30 pounds. So we did a relay with it, and I just set them up on opposite sides of the street, and they ran back and forth with the bag of dog food, passing it off to one another. It's so important for anybody who has the resource of a trainer around to be able to get that spark, because everybody who comes out says, Laura, I have the equipment, I just don't know what to do with it. And so when I'm able to instruct them and tell them how to do it, what to do, correct them, they feel safe. And so that's my biggest thing with everybody in my neighborhood right now.
Well, I think what you're doing is great. You keep it up, and hopefully we'll inspire tons of people to do the same thing. Thanks, Laura.
So Laura owns 2 CrossFit gyms. They're called CrossFit Fire Pit. Obviously, she can't get into those gyms yet. They're not open. But she hopes this street workout will keep growing until she can get back in the gym. If you're interested, I've linked you to her gym in this story. Just look for it on WFNYnews2.com. I love the fact, Maddie, that she used 30-pound bags of dog food. That was crazy.
Now you got to use what you got at this time. Chilton, I have been doing a lot of virtual fitness classes on Facebook Live. I've been doing some bar classes with Pure Barre in Greensboro, and then with a personal trainer in High Point, Trey Thomas. He's been doing Zoom small group classes too. So just any way I can work out in my apartment, don't have to go out, don't have to worry about getting germs or viruses anywhere.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, everybody's just kind of using the resources they can. And I actually asked everybody on Facebook, I was kind of like, how are you getting any activity in or staying active? And I got some good responses. Let's take a look at them. Tommy Wilson, he lives in Jamestown. He says, we still have Zoom Taekwondo classes, and he's still lifting weights at home. That's the way to do it, Tommy. Nova Diane said, I have a small under-the-desk bike. I've never heard of this. This is really cool. It has different resistance settings, monitors calories, distance, etc. That is pretty unique. Jody Rupel says the Peloton bike. Maddie knows all about that. And their app, she said, for strength, core, and running. And then Judy Edwards Willard said, walking back and forth to the kitchen and to the refrigerator. That Judy's she's along my lines right now.
I love Judy so much. She's cracked me up. I love Eric too, because today we have a 4 to 5 group message where we chat about the show, because we're not in the newsroom anymore, right? So we communicate over text message. Today we're talking about this story, and Eric says, I'm eating a cupcake.
The truth rears its ugly head. Maddie, you would be proud of me, though. Guess what? My neighbor and I, about 3 days a week, you're not going to believe this. I actually think you're going to think I'm lying. We're walking 6 miles. Walking 6 miles.
I do believe it,
It takes
Eric.
like an hour and 40 minutes.
I believe it, because before all of this craziness started, you were going to the gym, and you would come into work and say, Maddie and Tahisha, I went to the gym today. You're just not ready to admit
it only took
that
me
you're
about
fitness buff.
10 years to do it.
You love the gym. He's going to come out of quarantine with like these big muscles. I see you sleeping on us. All right, we'll be right back.
Hi, Callie, 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 Callie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, we are headed in there to talk about Trump and Cooper.
Hello there, 1, 2, 3 from the Buckley Weather Center.
Hi there, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California.
She's coming, Callie. Give her 1 second. Can you hear me?
So, you know, my 2 cents today, I can't really claim it. It's really my youngest 2 kids, it's their 2 cents. While all of us worry about quarantine and the economy and when the world's going to reopen and getting back to normal, our kids are living their best lives. I have heard about this fort for every day for a month at least. They will spend, the neighborhood kids and my youngest ones and Tyler's best friend Colton, they're all out there for 4 hours at a time, nonstop, I kid you not. So today, I got to look at their hideaway.
So this isn't really a pathway. It is actually my home. I built a really big home out of rocks. Yeah. These rocks are my home. People get injured and we're fighting other clubs. Then they take the people and they put them on this tiny sheet and we use first aid kits on them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing their own thing. Then
They're what?
they're doing their own thing. We're doing our big base. They took I'll sometimes build this.
Oh, that's big.
Sharp end right here.
So you know what? Maybe as adults, we could take a page from a kid's book and forget about all the worries and just go to our little fort, build something in the backyard, and let that be your happy place. But that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Developing this evening, President Trump is calling out Governor Cooper for playing politics with reopening our state.
He made the statement while talking about the Republican National Convention that's scheduled to happen in Charlotte in August. WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe has more on the debate over how to get North Carolina back open for business.
President Donald Trump made the claim during an interview